people, it's Jess and it's Sunday here on GenderqueerChat. Our topic this week is responding to Freshly Charles' video, Can I Be a Dyke? FTM, Sex and Desire. So in short, my response is yes, go for it. Be the dykiest dyke you can be. But I think the idea is actually more to talk about our own experiences around the failure of binary language, and specifically the failure of binary language to describe ourself, the objects of our attraction, and the communities in which we live and love. Even though I don't identify as a lesbian anymore, I feel like the lesbian community is a community that I'm fairly well entrenched in. Exhibit A, my Ani DeFranco CDs. Exhibit B, my VH copy of The Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls in Love, which I can't watch because I don't have the necessary equipment. Exhibit C, The Complete Hothead Paisan, Homicidal Lesbian Terrorists. All of these are things that I love. But I don't identify as a lesbian anymore. I identify as queer for a variety of reasons that have evolved over the years. I think I stopped identifying as lesbian because of the policing that was going on around that identity. I am polyflexible. I am okay with both polyamory and monogamy. I see like the benefits and the drawbacks to both of those things, and I don't think that either should be a default in a relationship, and that wasn't a very popular standpoint in my local lesbian community. Then I started having relationships and dating trans women. And that was also not a very popular thing in my local lesbian community. And I just felt like someone was coming along to take my lesbian card away at any minute. So I preempted that situation and decided to just start identifying as queer. But I still definitely feel comfortable and enjoy like lesbian spaces. But I'm also really excited the more people who I find who identify as queer, people of various gender expressions and identities, and seeing what kind of queer community I have here in Los Angeles. Another reason I ended up rejecting the label lesbian was because it seems to sometimes imply a female-bodied person who identifies as female who is attracted to another female-bodied, female-identified person. And that really stopped describing all of my relationships. At first it was mostly because of the people I was seeing. I was still identifying as female. But I was seeing trans people, both trans women and genderqueer female-bodied people, who I wanted to respect their identity, so I didn't think that lesbian was the most appropriate term. And then as I evolved, it became more and more because of my own evolving gender identity and not necessarily being female identified all the time anymore. I guess that's a pretty good segue into how binary language has failed to describe the objects of my attraction. I always hear this debate between like whether you're attracted to people based on their gender identity or whether you're attracted to them based on their body parts, and I seem to be in a rare minority where it's not exactly one of those things or the other. To be honest, and it makes me feel a little weird to admit it, it seems like the main criteria for my attraction is people who are queer identified, who happen to be under the influence of estrogen. For whatever strange reason, having a very small head seems to help also. Most of the people I'm attracted to fit into a size small motorcycle helmet. This topic got me thinking for the first time in a little while about how binary language fails me whenever identifying myself within a relationship. I have the kind of unique experience that my last 2 longish term relationships have been with people who were not willing to admit that we were in a relationship at the time, which I'm not at all bitter about. But anyway, these people, even though we were together for maybe a year or a year and a half, these 2 situations, they never felt compelled to call me their girlfriend. So I've been thinking about like how I would feel about someone calling me their girlfriend, because it's really been in the last 4 years when no one has been bothering to do so, that I've been thinking more about my gender identity and how I would feel about that term. I think for now it's basically like it gives me kind of a warm fuzzy feeling, the term girlfriend, just because no one has called me that in so long, and it kind of feels like that would be nice just to have someone recognize that they want to be with me and are willing to publicly proclaim that. So it's less about gender and more about recognition. So in conclusion, Freshly Charles is awesome. I'm going to continue to hang out in the lesbian community even though I'm not a lesbian. I like people with estrogen and small heads, apparently. And maybe I'll be someone's girl/BOI boyfriend someday. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.